Greetings YouTube, today we're talking about paper sheens. Now when you order a print, it can be really overwhelming to get bombarded with all the different options for paper. There's different types of paper and there's different sheens of paper. And it's really hard to know which one is the best for your piece. And these different styles of paper definitely work better in different situations. So today I'm hoping to take some of that confusion out of the equation for you when you're trying to order a print. We're not going to be talking about the different types of papers, as in fine art papers, cotton rags, and photo grade papers. Today we're just going to be talking about the sheens. So that's the surface of the paper. You can get these sheens on different grades of papers, but that's a lot to go into in one video. So we're basically looking at gloss, luster, and matte. We're going to start with gloss. Gloss was the standard for many years. Your kind of standard 4x6 photo lab prints were on gloss paper. Gloss is really good at showing the blackest blacks, and it's also really good at showing vibrant colors. It also can show an incredible amount of detail as the ink dries really fast on gloss paper, and it has less time to kind of absorb into the paper. But the big downside of gloss is it's incredibly reflective. So if you hang it on the wall and there's direct lighting on it, or it's next to a window or something like that, it can be really distracting. I used to print a lot to high gloss metal prints, and I hung some in my living room, and whenever I would walk into the room, all you could see in the print was the reflection of the windows, and it drove me crazy. And because of this, personally, I'm not a big fan of gloss papers. The high reflectivity in these papers is also going to show fingerprints and smudges a lot more than you'll see on a matte print. But because they show images really well, they can be really great for stuff like photo books, for photo albums, for stuff where you have a lot more control over the lighting on it. So if you're looking at the piece and there's some nasty lighting, you can move it and you can still appreciate the piece. But I will never use it when I'm hanging art on the wall, even though often you're putting this behind a piece of glass, which is going to have its own reflective aspects to it, but the extra reflectivity is just too much for me. Honestly, I've had one roll of gloss paper for 4 years. It's not ordered very often, but as I said, there are specific things that it works really well for. Hey, real quick, if you wouldn't mind, I put a lot of work into these videos. Please give the video the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Now, the opposite end of that spectrum is matte paper. Matte has no sheen and no reflectivity. It's not going to show your blacks quite as deep, and your colors are going to have a slightly softer feel, almost like a watercolor. And I really appreciate that with my work. The paper absorbs more of the ink, and it's going to slightly take away from the detail. Now, I'm not saying your prints are going to be blurry. You can still get an incredible amount of detail in matte paper, and it's pretty much the standard with fine art papers. So if you're okay with your work having a little bit less contrast, but having kind of a softer, warmer feel to it, then matte is probably a great option for you. Now in the middle, we have luster or satin papers. It's also kind of a semi-gloss. It's got some shine to it, but not nearly as much as a gloss paper. So because of this, it's going to offer some of your benefits of gloss, where it's going to show detail really well, and it's also going to show your darks and your vibrant colors very well. But it's not quite as reflective. So if you're really confused, it might be a good place to start. It's pretty much my standard normal photo paper, just for like family portraits, that kind of thing. It's just the go-to, even though personally I use it very little for my own work. Now I do real quick want to add, when you're talking about photo grade papers, mattes are generally going to last the longest, as the coatings in these papers for gloss and for luster are going to speed up the decay of the paper. But when it comes to fine art papers, that's not an issue. It's a different process. So just to kind of recap, gloss, not good for the wall, but really great at showing high contrast and in prints where you can adjust the lighting easily. Matte is my favorite. A softer look, a little bit lower contrast, but absolutely no reflectivity. Luster, right in the middle. If you can't decide, give luster paper or satin paper a try. And if the reflections are still too much, then maybe drop it down to matte. If you have any questions or anything you'd like to add to the discussion, please don't hesitate to leave a comment below. So I hope this explanation is going to make your print process just a little bit easier. I'll do another video about the different styles of paper, but hopefully at least now you know the best sheen for your project. Thanks for watching. Please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and have a great day.